Estamos en vivo. This is the city of the sun. El Paso, Texas. Live and talented. Fashion.
Yeah,
Icons.
you go down, you go down.
Artists.
Come on. Yeah, yeah.
Food. Sports.
You go down, you go down, you go down.
Y mucho más.
Come on, yeah, yeah. You go down.
Different is what we do. Live and talented.
Get discovered, get exposure, and play at the next level. Prep 1. Follow us on all social media platforms.
The catwalk, the photos, the lights, the camera, the action. Get on your prime and begin training today. Register at latstudio.com and become a Halo model.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Icons, brought to you by Live and Talented. You might not recognize me, and that is because I am a new host. So it is very nice to meet you guys and be here tonight. My name is Paulina Herbert and I'm super excited to start hosting. I am a little bit nervous, not gonna lie, but I'm pretty sure that I'll be amazing, and please leave me down below some tips, any comments, suggestions that you guys think that might help me out. I am a college student, I also model, and I am a beauty queen. So I hope that you guys enjoy having me as a host. And like I mentioned earlier, leave me in the comments some tips because I will be in need of those. Enough about me, it is time to talk about our special guest. She is a very passionate dancer and actually graduated in dance from Montwood High School. She then continued her journey at NMSU and somehow ended at UTEP, now teaching at a very competitive level. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Leslie Lopez. Enjoy the show.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another segment of Icons. Yes, Live and Talented has been doing its big things, and we have a very special guest with us today. She's from the University of Texas at El Paso, and she's a UTEP dance coach. Not too long ago, she joined forces with the university, and she's made major changes. She's definitely an icon on iBooks because LAT Studio is part of a dance division, and we realize and recognize when somebody has made major changes, all to better this community, the dance community. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we have Miss Leslie Lopez. Come on in.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Tony, how are you? So nice to see you.
Absolutely. Have a seat.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. How's it been?
Oh, it's been pretty good. We've been pretty busy, so just glad to be back actually in person, you know, with the team, and just being back on campus is pretty
It's nice.
Good. Yes, it is.
And your season took off because you had football season.
Yes.
And then you're now in basketball season, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Nice to have audience or fans in the stands, right?
Yes, actually during the pandemic, we did have a short football season, so we had very limited fans. But now kicking into this season, it's just been amazing.
Yeah.
Our football team did really good. We are bowl eligible now, so we're heading out to Albuquerque.
Yeah.
So we're really excited. We're really proud of our team, and we're just so glad and thankful to be back out on the field.
Are you a UTEP minor alumni?
No, unfortunately, I'm not.
Where are you? What's your alma mater now?
I get a lot of throwback, but it's okay. I'm very proud of where I went to school. So I actually graduated from New Mexico State University.
Okay, you're an Aggie?
Yes, I'm an Aggie. But I actually got my degree in dance education there at New Mexico State University under the direction of Dr. Deborah Knapp.
Okay.
So I went there because I weighed out all my options, you know, as 17-year-old senior. I was like, where am I gonna go to school? I wanna go somewhere big, but at the same time, I had to be really realistic. So I chose NMSU. They had better programs. They had a lot more opportunity for me. So I know I'm here because of where I started in my
That's good.
education. Yes. So.
Wow, well said.
Yeah.
And you know what? At LAT Studio, we have a big dance division, and you were part of it when we first
Yes.
started.
Yes, that is correct.
And we worked with some of your girls when you were at Montwood High School.
Yes.
And I must say, your journey is very interesting because you're younger than me.
Well, thank you.
And I saw you really, take off. And you had some great, great students, great progress with the
you.
kids that we were able to, work with from Montwood at LAT. But now that you're at UTEP, things have changed. My wife is a former UTEP gold digger, which we're gonna go into that in a little bit.
Yes, we are.
And you also, you know her and you know
Yes,
her
I
very
do.
well. But the change has been not just drastic, but
It's
for the
okay.
better.
You could say drastic.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people do say that it's a drastic change, but it's a drastic change for good.
For good, exactly.
Yes, it is good, and it's not bad. I mean,
And that's the reason why you're an icon,
Oh.
okay? Because we needed that.
Thank you.
Not to bash on anybody from UTEP that was there before. Great stuff, okay?
Yes.
I think every coach that's been there has done, it's great things for the program. But there was change that was due, okay? And that's why you're here. So we want to talk about that. So let's start off with just a little bit of background on Leslie Lopez. What school did you go to? Where are you from originally? Go.
Okay, well, born and raised here in El Paso. I love my city. I love this community. I graduated from Montwood High School. So yes, 2001. Like I said, I had to realistically lay out my options for my education. So after that, I went to Mexico State University under the direction of Dr. Deborah Neff. Fun fact about me. So before I knew I was gonna go to NMSU, I wanted to study forensic science. I wanted to be a forensic scientist. Kid you not, I know,
Wow.
crazy, right?
That's not, I don't see, I just see you're a performer.
I know, I've danced my whole entire life, and so, all of a sudden I wanted to become a forensic scientist. That's just something that has always driven me. So from there, I went ahead and, I did my background, I looked at everything. I registered for forensic science as my bachelor's.
At NMSU.
At NMSU, yes, because they had a really good program there. So then that, one day I was just like, man, I'm not gonna perform anymore. I'm not gonna dance. Know this, at the age of 3, I've been dancing all my life. Since I started at British Ballet Academy, and then I stayed there. Then I went off to Viva El Paso, performed with Hector Serrano, and then I went with Babil, Gandara, and I learned so much in that atmosphere. I learned so much. And I did Viva El Paso, I did the SECO, we traveled all over Texas, and we were a big hit. And when I graduated from high school, knew that I was gonna go to college at NMSU, knew I was gonna be a forensic scientist, one day it just hit me like, oh my God, I'm not gonna dance anymore.
This is the first semester that you were there?
This was before semester
before you even started. Okay.
Yeah, it was in the summer. So I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm not gonna dance anymore. I'm not gonna perform. Like, that's a big chunk of my life that I'm just gonna throw away.
Yeah.
So then I said, you know what? I remember I called my dad and I was like, Dad, I don't want to be a forensic scientist anymore. I want to continue dance. He's like, and this is what I love about my parents is that they've always supported me in whatever I wanted to do. So they said, well, what do you want to do, Leslie? I go, I want to be a dance teacher. That's what I want to do. I want to be a Margie Dykes. I want to be a Hector Serrano. I want to be a good teacher in the El Paso community. He said, okay, well then you better figure out how to change your classes. So I had to figure everything out, how to change my classes, get in touch with the dean and all that. So.
Yeah. Funny thing is, the way you had to call your dad, I had to call my dad to change the major. And I was afraid because my dad has a company that does tool and die, and he works with a lot of engineers. He's not an engineer. He just works for a lot of companies that have engineers. And he always talks so good about them and how it would be awesome for me to become an engineer. And I had to call him one day and I said, Dad, I'm not math, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
And his response was like, whatever makes you happy.
Exactly.
Just do it.
Yes.
And it happened that same way. I
Right.
changed it to communications, public relations, and marketing, and here I am.
And look at you now.
And
This is so
And so
great.
you're in a very happy place.
Yes, I am. And, to all the parents out there, I really do encourage you to, encourage your kids and support them in whatever they want to do. So,
You know what? And when you were talking about everything that you went through from British Ballet to Viva El Paso, Montwood, you take a little bit from everybody.
oh, yes.
And it's important for kids to to diversify their training, learn from multiple teachers,
Yes.
travel, compete. That's awesome. I mean, that's one of the things that I'm a big advocate of. I taught at Bel Air, and I was a soccer coach, and in soccer we preach the same thing.
Right.
Not that you stall learning from somebody, but you can learn more if you kind of open your
Right.
your avenues.
Definitely.
So you've come this far when you were working at Montwood, and now would you say where you're at, are you in the pinnacle of your career?
No, I'm not.
No?
I
Okay.
want, it's something about my parents, back to our parents again. My parents have always instilled in me, you're not finished until you've reached your goal. You're not done yet,
So give me that. What's your
Like,
goal?
I have so many goals. That's one thing about me. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. But I think that's just the dancer in me. But, always in life, one of my goals I said was that I'm going to be the dance teacher at Montwood High School. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the next Margie Dykes.
And you did it.
And I did it. It's funny because when I graduated from New Mexico State University, that program gave me so much opportunity. I traveled with them alone. I went to 6 different states, competed. I don't want to say competed because in the dance world and the commercial dance world, I guess you could say, it's 2 different worlds, but it still leads into one. So I learned so much from different choreographers, directors, instructors, just everybody.
What's your strength?
My strength?
What genre is your strength?
Oh my God, I don't.
Style dance.
Like teaching or like performance?
Performance.
Oh, okay. I could say.
As a performer.
I studied modern, so modern is my strength. Like.
Modern.
Yes, modern. I know there's like a big old controversy. Well, it's contemporary. It's lyrical. It's modern. Well, mine's modern. So.
There's a really fine line. I mean, I was never a formal dancer, trained dancer, but with LAT, I had to learn.
Yes.
And one of the things that even master, choreographers, they can't really define the difference between all of these. There's a really fine line between all of these,
Definitely.
genres, especially like modern, lyrical, contemporary. I mean, there's this difference, obviously, but when you say modern, I've had people, have a hard time describing it. I mean, how would you describe it?
Well, we have our founding pioneers of modern dance. We have Martha Graham. We have Isadora Duncan, who was the first one to just all of a sudden, dance freely with just a scarf. And Martha Graham was very political, she was.
What's the difference between modern and contemporary?
Oh, contemporary, I would say.
In your books?
In my books? God, people, please don't judge me.
I'm putting you on the spot.
I know you are. It's okay though, because I would say contemporary is more of what you feel and the story. It entails different technique aspects, because it could go, you could have different styles, but contemporary is more like a story. Like, okay, this is my focus and I'm gonna explain what this is. Modern, on the other hand, I would say it's, kind of sounds the same.
See what I was saying earlier?
It does sound the same because they want to get their point across. Like, I mean this, but in reality, I mean this. I know it's so weird. Freaking dancers are just crazy. But
I live with one, so
But it's okay,
Sorry.
But anyways, so I would say that would be a difference. If you look back with Isadora Duncan and Martha Graham, there's so many more, but those 2 women were ones that when I was, studying dance, those two women were just, one was a big old hippie, like free, oh, I'm gonna dance like this. But this one was so intrigued and in tuned with her emotions, and I want this to happen. And so you have two different worlds right there. So I could say
in the world of acting,
Oh.
there's something called acting technique. And there's 4 major pioneers: Strasberg, Adler, Meisner, and Stanislavski. And they all coined a method, a way of reaching a character, okay? And the idea behind training as to be an actor is to define yourself with one of them.
Right.
Pick something that works for you. Is that the same when you're mentioning all these pioneers? Do you identify yourself with these, pioneers?
I would say yes.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I may not do it with my team right now, but as a performer and as...
Do you preach their style? Do you try to instill those ways that you learn in dance school?
Yes, I do instill that because I do believe I have to go back to my roots. I have to go back how, what, when, where, and I have to go back to that. But you also have to remember that we've learned from so many people and they have impacted our lives. So those things that I've learned, it's like a box. So I put everything inside that box, and then I pick and choose what I'm gonna do today, or not today, or what just naturally happens.
Okay.
So yeah, I would say yes, I do use what the founding, and then everything else that kind of bleeds into it as well.
Yeah, because you gotta leave your legacy. You gotta, touch these kids with your ideas, with your style.
Yes.
But we're gonna get back into that. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of Leslie Lopez.
Awesome.
Isn't she amazing? I told you guys she was so talented. And that's only the first part. It is now time to thank our sponsors.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here with Miss Leslie Lopez, and we have so much more to talk about, primarily UTEP. Because now that we've covered a little bit of, what got you to this point, it's time to talk about those changes that you've made that I'm really happy to see, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
What year did you get the call to get to UTEP, or what happened for you to get to UTEP?
So I didn't know that this was going to be my last year at Montwood. I actually stepped...
What year was that?
I believe it was 18.
Okay.
I stepped away actually from the dance team. I said I needed to take, not a break, but yes, I'm going to say it. I needed to take a break from the team.
It was a break. Well, friends and Ross and Rachel.
Yeah.
We just needed some time.
I just needed some
took a
time.
break.
I took a little break. And I needed to spend some time with the family and stuff. So then I got a phone call, and they said, hey, they're looking for the head coach for the Gold Diggers. And I was just like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And know this, that, I've had...
Hold on. Was it, okay, I'll give it, or like, yeah, I'm going to go for that?
Well, I wasn't sure because I didn't know like what the situation was. I didn't know what the previous director, I just...
Somebody from UTEP called you.
Yeah, no,
Or
it was
word got
actually,
around.
it was word got around, and the person called me and was like, hey, the position is open and they're looking for somebody, and I think you'll be perfect for this position. I was like,
I agree.
I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot, So let me brush up my resume and stuff. So I called the band director, which is Dr. Andrew Hunter. I was like, hi, my name is Leslie, and I hear you're looking for a dance instructor. And he's like, yes. Send me your resume, and then we could go from there. So I said, okay, sent him my resume. And then know this, I haven't touched my resume in 13 years because I was at Montwood for 13 years. So I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So then I turned it in. I went in for an interview. Then from there, he's like, all right, well, I want you to come out and see the team to see what they're capable of. They're great students, they're great dancers. I was like, okay, all right, I'm just a high school teacher.
Any former students of yours there
yes,
at the time?
Actually a good handful. And that's one thing about me is that I always encourage my dancers, my high school dancers, to go out and venture off. If you want to continue dancing, go into collegiate dancing. It's fun, not only collegiate, but dance company wise as well. So a good handful of my dancers were there. So then I went to one of the football games. It was a day game. And I got a pass and stuff, sat and I watched the team. I was like, okay, it's gonna need some work, we gotta adjust some things here. We gotta, there's a lot of dancers there,
How many were there at the time?
Too many. There was a lot. And a lot of people, the people who know me, I'm 30. 30 is my number. I'm comfortable. And the reason why I do 30 is because I'm able to reach out to every student. That is just my focus. I want to be available for them. So I saw them perform and I was like, okay, this is very different from what I'm used to doing. So it's doable,
And they were still called the Gold Diggers.
They were still called the Gold Diggers. So then, I talked it over with my husband. I was like, hey, this is a big change, he's like, and that's also another person. My husband is a big supporter and, always, he's my number one fan. So he's like, do it. What do you have to lose? We're fine. Go off and do what you want to do. It's been a goal. So I said, okay. So there I go. Went back with Dr. Hunter and I was like, okay, let's give this a shot. He's like, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring you in as a part-timer. And I go, I still have to work at the high school because that's my full-time job. I have a family. So he's like, it's okay, we'll adjust the schedule and stuff. So I came in, I specifically remember it was in December of 2018.
Right now?
Right now,
yeah.
yes. So
Anniversary.
I completed my 3rd season and I'm starting my 4th season already.
Congratulations.
Yes, so it's been a huge transition. So I went in and I walked into Holiday Hall. It was 7:30 in the morning and it was really cold that day. And I walked in and all the girls were just there. And so I walked in and I was like, all right, hi, I'm so-and-so. Let's get started. We have a performance like in a couple days. So I want to see what you got. So go in, I think there was like 73, maybe a little bit less. I may be dramatic about it, but there was a good bunch of dancers there.
To say the least, double than what you want.
Yes. I mean, granted, I could do it. I could work with them. I could work with 73 girls. That's not an issue. But it doesn't meet my expectations.
And it's harder to accomplish a show that you needed to put out in weeks.
In weeks. So then we worked and I was like, okay, this is gonna happen. And then I pretty much said, listen, this is the end of the semester already. We're going into the next semester. I'm gonna be your coach next semester. If you feel that you cannot meet my expectations, and I gave him a list of expectations, if you cannot meet it, then it's not that I don't want you to be here, I want you to be 100% at your job. Because being a dancer, a teacher, police officer, it's a job.
Yeah.
So if you can't meet it, then I would like for you to tell me now.
Commitment.
Yeah. So I had a good handful of girls that come in and say, you know what, thank you, but this just isn't for me. I said, okay, that's fine, thank you. So my numbers.
Before you even saw the potential.
Exactly. I started working with what I had, and I was just so grateful for them. And when I came in, you know, Dr. Hunter was like, hey, you know, we're really gonna have to think about changing the name. I'm like, okay. Know this, I was still a part-timer. I wasn't a full-time staff. So, you know, then all of a sudden, know this, the dance team, the Gold Diggers at the time were under the music department. So when the dean of students came in and took over the dance team, the Gold Diggers, it shifted. So now we're under student affairs at UTEP. So we're not under the music, we're not under athletics, we're under the dean of students.
Wow.
So, and it's under Gary Edens, Dr. Katie, and Dr. Charlene.
And
So
you're still under that?
I'm still under them, yes.
Okay.
So once, you know, once that shift happened, then Dr. Katie pulled me in and said, hey, we're gonna offer this full-time position. I was like, I'm game. Let's do this.
And this is towards the end of your Montwood season.
I actually, I continued on at Montwood the next semester. I was still part-time, and you know, I did what I had to do. And then, and May was when the transition happened. They offered me the full-time position, and so I said yes, and I'm here.
And you're here.
She did say we are gonna have to, you know, do some adjustments. I'm like, can I recommend something? She goes, yeah, sure. I want to change the name. It has nothing against tradition, because that's just something that's just been established at UTEP. Now it's time to hang that coat and say, all right, let's start a new chapter.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at. We're at a new chapter. We're still in chapter 3, you know, and going on to chapter 4.
You know what? Yeah, well said. Chapter 4 is going to be interesting, and the more you move forward, I think, you know, things are going to get better, and maybe more changes. Who knows?
Yes.
But speaking of the Gold Diggers, because I was a UTEP cheerleader, the little did you know.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
That's how I met my wife. That's how I met
because she was a Gold Digger.
Angelie was a Gold Digger. She was
Yes.
one of the captains, and I have a soft spot for that name per se. You know, that's, I mean, so good thing that you mentioned. You know, it's a nice way to kind of hang that coat, let it be what it is. Legendary in its own way.
Yes.
Becky did what she could with that group, and she did wonders.
She did.
It's so cool, you know, that you made that change now, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There's a name,
Yes.
UTEP Dance, simple, clear, to the point, and I like the logo.
Thank you. Yeah, we worked really hard. We have a really good staff. We have marketing. You know, it's so amazing within the university. There's so many things that I didn't have at the high school level that I wish I had to build up the Emeralds, because I have a theory. I have a way, it's my way of thinking. I want to go in and make it better than what it was. It was great. All right, let's build up on it. You know, let's make it better. Let's make it stronger. You know, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going to change everything and I'm going to do better than Becky. No, I can never outdo Becky. I can never outdo Miss Dykes. I can never outdo those people.
Yeah.
And not that I want to, but I want to make them proud is what I want to say.
You got to create your own story.
Yes, I have to create my own story. And I think that's what Miss Dykes and Becky did. You know, they created their own story with the teens. So now it's my turn. And the girls, I always say, this is our team. This isn't my team, but this is our team, because we're all together.
Absolutely. I'm going to go into the style that you brought to UTEP Dance. And before I go into that, I want to roll this video just to, you know, prepare people to, you know, what you're about to, you know, answer. So let's roll this video of the UTEP Dance Team. And there it is. All right, so that's awesome. That's really cool.
Thank you.
This is not your typical Gold Digger dance that was back then.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No.
So you were, before this interview, you mentioned you have a palm jazz
Yes.
style. Explain.
Okay, so I like to talk about it. I like to have our dancers perform on what our community is, what our community is used to, you know, and what our audience is when it comes to basketball games and football games. Right now we're in basketball season, so we have an older crowd. So people don't want to see booty shaking, grinding on the floor. And you know, I know this is so horrible, excuse me. But I always like to, you know, I have a group of classy girls and I want to keep it that way. So the style that we teach is very clean. It's a palm, and we do incorporate technique that does entail for these girls to know ballet, jazz, hip hop, like all the style. You know, a lot of people give us backlash about, oh, you know, the gold diggers, they used to be grinding on the floor and this and this and this. Yeah, well, we don't do that anymore. You know, it's not that anything was bad about it. It's just, I like to adjust our style to what our audience is.
Yeah, you're catering to your fans.
Yeah, I want them to be comfortable. I want them to say, oh, wow, that looks nice. You know, oh, wow, they look really clean, you know? So palm is our strength, you know, or I don't want to say our strength, but we're building up to it. Jazz, they are capable of doing a good solid jazz. Hip hop, they're getting better at it. I'm not gonna say that's their strength, but you know, we're all learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have several former of my students and from different studios, and I think most studios in El Paso are very well diverse.
Yes, they are.
So the girls that you have there have competed with us in hip hop and jazz and contemporary. So you have well-rounded dancers.
I do have well-rounded dancers, and you know, and also to the high school teachers too. I have a lot of drill dancers, you know, so they come from a kick line background. I don't do kick line anymore. So although people do want to see it, they want to see,
Dallas Cowboy similarity.
Yeah, the DCC, you know, we don't, I mean, not that anything's wrong with it, but I do encourage my girls, hey, there's not only this, you know, I classify us as semi-pro because I'm prepping them to get into that pro style of dancing, which is how other people, when I say other people, like the dance department, or like how NMSU would say, would be a commercial style of dancing. I disagree with that because you want to call it commercial, that's fine, but that's just, it's a palm.
Yeah, it's a palm.
It's a hip hop.
And it's really cool that you're actually doing a palm. Because the next level more likely will be, you know, if they want to continue after college, can be that either semi-pro or pro. Janae Green, a former student of mine, I was at Eastwood, a teacher there as well. And Janae Green went on to do the Dallas Mavericks. Paulina Nieto went to do the...
Yeah, she's one of my dancers too. Yes, my Paulina.
We have the new girl, Ariana Vargas.
Yes,
she's
Ariana.
a Dolphin cheerleader now.
Yes, and we also have another dancer. I don't know her name, but she's with the Dallas Cowboy Rhythm Blues.
Yeah.
She's there as well. So there's a lot that, and see, again, they classify that as commercial style dancing. And I disagree with it because, you know, times have changed, and I want to make sure I cater to what there's going on now. I have to educate myself. I have to be ready to provide this for my students, you know? So if
it's a platform.
It is. I mean, but if they want to call it, I know I'm still on the commercial dancing. I guess because I'm so angry about it, but whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I come from a modern background. That's where I'm from.
I love what you've done.
Thank you.
Leslie, honestly, I think what you've done is amazing. Not to mention one of the biggest achievements recently, you took your dance team to New York.
Yes, we
to
did.
The Macy's parade.
Oh, I love New York.
How was that?
Oh, it was great. It was a really good experience. So how this happened was we were actually in College Station at Texas A&M for our dance camp. And we got a phone call from our cheer coach, friend, which is Daniel Veal. He reached out to us and said, hey, I think we have a potential opportunity for us to perform at the Macy's parade. So Roger from Spirit of America reached out to us and said, hey, we would love to have you come out and perform with us at the Thanksgiving Macy's parade. We were like, count us in. And this was in July, okay? So we had X amount of months to prepare
Yeah.
for the actual big production.
Well, people just got to see a little bit of this. We've been putting the glimpse up there, or the little clips.
Yes.
Good for you. Man.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. High five.
Yes, we're so excited.
Go
I know,
Miners.
picks up,
yeah.
right? So, that happened. There was a lot of things that happened and that made this possible. We had a lot of support from the El Paso community. We had a huge support system from El Paso, and that's why I love my community. And, I don't ever want to leave El Paso, but if the opportunity arises, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah. Follow your dream.
Yeah, and I gotta set a good example for my children too, because I want them. I have 3 girls. I want them to be independent women. So, but
You
they're
guys
not.
like to go hiking a lot, you and your husband.
Well, I do. My
Okay.
husband, he does too, but I'm a big time ultra marathon runner. So it was funny because before I got pregnant, I was training to do. I think it was 100K. Here in El Paso. I know that's like 60 some odd miles. I don't know the math. I just go by K. But during my middle of my training, I found out I was pregnant and I couldn't train anymore. So I stopped, and I'm trying to get back into it. So I'm gonna hopefully prep for 50K soon.
Good.
Yeah,
Good for you.
get back on track.
So you're into fitness.
Yes.
She takes care of the UTEP Dance Team. Full-time mom. Huh?
I am. Yes, I am.
Well, Leslie, it's been a pleasure. Okay,
Thank
you
you.
for coming. Before you leave, we have a small little game. You down? Yeah?
Okay,
All
I'm
right,
ready.
let's do a quick this or that type of game.
Oh
Okay.
my goodness.
Should we start off with the funny ones, or not funny ones, but just life type of this or that?
Whichever one you want.
Okay,
Go for
because
it.
let's do a little bit of just random ones.
Okay,
Ready?
random. Go for it.
All right, television series or movie?
Television series.
All right. Delivery or sit-down dinner?
Sit down dinner. Old school.
Ooh, yeah.
Please.
Board games or card games?
Card games.
Video games or books?
Video games.
Yes.
Sorry, my daughter's into books now, so I'm like, ugh.
Bus or train?
Train. We don't have
Ah.
a train here, but I say because of New York City, the subway system.
Subway system.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Country or city?
Country or city?
The countryside or the city?
I would say, country.
Okay.
But I like the city too, so I'm in between.
Broccoli or green beans?
I like both.
Beach or mountains?
What?
Beach or mountains?
I like both.
No, pick.
Mountains, sorry.
Yeah.
beach.
Oh, wow.
I'm afraid of tsunamis. So
You're far from those, though.
I know, that's why I would pick mountains.
Yeah. Soda or juice?
Soda?
Okay. Pepperoni pizza or cheese pizza?
Pepperoni.
I don't know. This is weird, but
Go for it.
toilet paper goes over or under?
Over. It has to be over.
Okay. So
It
when
just
you
looks
roll,
weird when you go like
Yeah.
that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that.
morning or night? I think.
I'm a morning person because I have practice at 7:30 in the morning, so I
Ugh.
have to be ready. I know.
Yeah.
I've been like that since day one. Ugh.
Okay. Credit or cash?
Credit.
Tacos or burgers?
Tacos.
Yeah, baby. And shopping in store or online?
Back then, in store. Right now, online.
Really?
Yeah, I
prefer.
just have a hard time with people. Not people. Don't get me wrong.
Football season or basketball season?
Basketball. I love basketball season.
What?
Yes. I mean, I love football. It's just that's like another episode.
All right, straight into a few dance. You ready?
Okay.
All right. Turns or leaps?
Turns. I love my girls when they do turns.
Right split or left split?
Right. Gotta do dominant.
Can you do left?
Yes, I can.
Both?
Yes.
Okay. And still to this day?
Still to this day.
Sweet.
I gotta demonstrate for my
Yeah.
girls.
Center combo or across the floor?
I love across the floor.
Yeah. Illicit cones or fautes?
A la seconds.
Switch leaps or reverse leaps?
Oh God, I hate reverse leaps, so switch leaps.
Black jazz shoes or tan jazz shoes?
Tan. Who wears black? Oh.
We get that a lot. We do.
you?
Yeah, parents here.
Do
You
you?
know, because they always want the black, because you know.
Because they want to be uniform.
Yeah.
I totally get it. But The tan one we use all the time. So.
I learned that the hard way because I'm not a trained dancer, but I have this dance studio that, people are teaching me.
Yes.
My instructors teach me a lot. So
Yeah, parents get tan jazz shoes. Those are way better.
yeah, kick or palms?
Palm. I love kick, but there's just so much technique. The only perfect kickers would be the Rockettes, which we saw in New York actually. So,
Did you?
Yes, we did. We saw so much.
Awesome. Contemporary or lyrical?
Oh, contemporary. Don't get me into that conversation.
Modern or jazz?
Modern. No, I love jazz though too. Can I say both?
No, one. She's looking at me like, ugh, dude.
I'll say modern.
Modern.
Yes.
Okay, and last one. Hip hop or breakdance?
Ooh. Like me doing it or
You
me?
look watching it.
Oh, I love to watch breakdance.
Right?
No.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's our time with Miss Leslie Lopez, University of Texas, UTEP
Yes.
dance coach.
Yes.
Thank you so much for stopping by. Okay?
Thank you so much,
Appreciate
Tony.
it.
Nice seeing you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Well, you guys have a blessed week. We'll be back next time with more icons. See you guys.
Well, you know what they say, change is always good. So I'm super happy that Miss Leslie spiced things up for UTEP's dance. And guess what? UTEP's football has not had an invitation for a bowl in almost 20 years. And this weekend, they'll actually be playing at the New Mexico Bowl. And you know what the best part is? UTEP Dance will be there to support. So best of luck this weekend, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show as much as I did. See you next time.
Baila El Paso Baila. LET Studio offers a full dance division with jazz, hip hop, ballet, and contemporary. Visit letstudio.com today.
This segment is brought to you by Traditions Parties and Events, a clean, chic, and cozy venue for any type of event. Your traditions must be celebrated.